that would bring water to the parched soil.
American helicopters often pass over the areas where we are working. They employ oppressive machines, while we have the dusty shirts on our backs. We know the feelings of those who exult when the parched land obtains water.
"16 years later, the parched, barren plains have been transformed into a green, fertile land. This is the story of the physician Tetsu Nakamura, who continued to battle drought. As the flames of war began, he saw that the damage caused by the drought had grown more severe. The farmland of Ningrahar province, which had once been a fertile breadbasket, was now void of any crops. Throughout the country, some 4 million people stood on the brink of starvation.
今一番必要なのはどういうことなんですか。やはりはっきり言って食うことですね。他のことは語弊がありますが、贅沢な部分としか私はこの状態を見れば思えないですね。
Food and water were essential to Afghanistan's recovery. Nakamura now made a firm decision to shed his doctor's coat and to start building an irrigation canal. Nakamura identified the Kunduz River, one of Afghanistan's few large rivers, as the water source for his irrigation canal. With its headwaters among glaciers and 7,000-meter-high mountains, the river flows year-round, even in times of drought.
Actually, this is a wrong map. Yeah. And saying that we can get the water rather this side.
If water could be drawn from the Kunduz River to the parched fields, perhaps agriculture could be revived. $1.50. For these men who are unable to farm because of the drought, this is the sole source of support for their families. Nakamura began work on construction of the intake at the mouth of the canal. The intake is where water is drawn from the river into the irrigation canal. If it is not built properly, water will not flow into the system. To draw water into a canal, it is necessary to build a structure in the river. This changes the flow of the water, making it enter the canal. This structure is called a weir. Nakamura first undertook the construction of a levee upriver from the canal intake. When the levee is built, the river will flow on the far side of the island, keeping water out of the site for the weir. This will make it easier to construct the weir. Truckloads of soil and rock are dumped into the river. 20 meters to reach the island. Then, unexpectedly, the levee could be extended no further. No matter how much soil is dumped, the current carries it away. As the gap between the levee and the island narrowed, the flow of the river increased beyond expectations. If the weir is built perpendicular to the flow, it receives the full force of the river and is in danger of breaking apart. But if the weir is built diagonally, it diverts the water resistance, which makes it possible to complete the structure. Nakamura resumed construction of the weir. Following the design of the Yamada Weir, these boulders were placed at a diagonal angle to the flow of the river. Even in the rapid current, the weir grows in size. One month after construction began, the project faces a major hurdle. The weir must be extended into the deepest part of the river. A specially selected huge boulder is put in place. The boulder disappears under the surface of the water. The river is easily over 5 meters deep at this spot. A boulder too big to be lifted by the bulldozer was pushed from the hills 16 kilometers away and finally rolled into place. It weighs about 5 tons. Finally, the boulders break the surface of the water. The deepest part of the river has been filled, and the weir has reached its projected size. Many of the villagers in this region appreciated how the irrigation canal had improved security and brought peace to the area.
دا والی ارزه ته ورسیږي ګمبيرى ته ورسیږي خلک چې خپل روزګار ته گرفتار شي او زه څه کوم چې د جنګ ته ځم چې خپل روزګار سره بند یم که او چې سړی وجه شو هغه حتمن یو ډډې ته وځي هغه د پیسو د خپل خېټې دپاره ځي جنګ ته چې خېټه ماړه شو نو رسوی څه کوي چې جنګ دی
Wala kak sanggurdi.
"16 years have passed. Having shed the white coat of a doctor, Nakamura assessed the vision he had pursued.
これは平和運動ではない。医療の延長なんです。で、医療の延長ということは、どれだけの人間が助かるかということなんです。で、その中で結果としてですよ、結果として、確かに我々の作業地域、60万人前後の地域では、この争い事が少ない、治安がいい、麻薬が少ないということが言えるわけで、これが平和への一つの道であるという主張は私したことは少ないと思います。ただ戦をしてる暇はないんですよと。その戦をするとこういう状態ますます悪くなるんですよ。でそれにはやっぱり平和なんですよ。でそれは結果として得られた平和であって平和を目的に我々してるわけではない。
However, those who benefit from the irrigation canals are no more than 2% of the population of Afghanistan. The United Nations estimated that in 2014, 1/3 of the population faced food shortages because of the drought. And now, in Afghanistan, security has deteriorated as terrorist attacks by anti-government insurgents have become more frequent. Coalition forces led by the U.S. have attempted to counter the spread of the insurgency with military force. 16 years after the 9/11 terrorist attacks, there is still no end of the fighting in sight. Meanwhile, requests for the construction of Nakamura's irrigation canals have begun to come from various parts of the country. In response, Nakamura has launched a new project. The project aims to build a training center to pass on his experience to young technicians recruited from drought-stricken areas throughout the country. Continuing to face the challenge of drought and warfare in Afghanistan, the physician Tetsu Nakamura, 70. Sustaining the dream of the day when people on this soil will once again see green fields and peaceful lives.
American helicopters often pass over the areas where we are working. They fly the skies in order to kill. We dig the earth in order to live. They employ oppressive machines, while we have the dusty shirts on our backs. There are pleasures and joys here on the ground that they will never know. We know the feelings of those who exult when the parched land obtains water. It is our privilege to witness the exuberant dance of life in the smiling faces of children playing by the river's edge. And this is the foundation of peace.